What it do?
Welcome to us and our life from the road. Gotten a lot of questions about this adventure of ours that we impulsively decided to just do. So this video will be to answer those questions. We got most of them through Instagram. A bunch of them just people asking us, reaching out to our DMs or responding to our questions on our story.
Or in the comments.
And the comments. We're on a farm. We're actually on a lavender farm right now. Super cool. And I hope the birds.
Yeah, you could. Can you give us a minute? He said, "I bet."
So I guess the first question that keeps coming up is like, what made us decide on taking life to an RV? Do you want to take that one, or I'll take that one because I feel like it was.
It was kind of.
It was my idea.
It was your idea, but it was my idea to buy one.
No, it wasn't.
Her initial idea. I swear, I was just working, doing my regular 9 to 5 thing, and she comes down on a lunch break and like, "Hey, I want to take an RV trip to Arizona."
Yeah, so I said, let's take a trip to Arizona, and I started looking up the prices. And then when the prices turned out to be like $6,000 to rent out an RV for a week, I was like, damn. I honestly don't know who said it makes more sense to buy one, but we were just like, screw it. I think it was me because
there's no way that I would spend $6,000 on a week.
It had to have been me because I was like, screw it. Let's just go live on an RV for a couple of months. I was the one with that idea.
No, it didn't even.
Yes,
you skipped the part. You skipped the part because remember when we was like, damn, they cost $6,000 to rent. We should get one to rent out. We started with that first. That was me.
No, it was also not you because I was looking it up on the app like, oh, these people rent out their own RV.
It was us. It was us.
Okay. It was our
my thoughts are your thoughts and your thoughts are my thoughts.
All right.
You know, we're married, so.
That's true. That's true. We both decided at the same time that we should just go ahead and buy an RV. And then we spent the next 2 weeks looking at a bunch of different types. So we were in between like trailers, Class A's, Class B's, Class C's. And in that 2-week span of time, we went down a rabbit hole.
Yes.
Like all we could eat, breathe, and smell were RVs.
I think we should make a list of the things that are important to us, or we're going to be going down in circles forever. Let's make a hard list of what we want and what we don't want.
And I mean, it's good because it helped us make our decision, but it was like it really consumed me. I feel like when I set my mind to something, I'm like, no, this is it. We have to do this, and we have to do it immediately. And yeah, thanks, Jalen, for bearing with me there.
I mean, at the end of the day, you know, happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, no matter how uncomfortable I may sleep at a Cracker Barrel at 3 a.m. You know, as long as you're sleeping peacefully, I guess I'm okay.
He loves it. Don't listen to him. Really, like, that's what got us to make the decision. It was really impulsive. It was very much like we felt like we were working from home for the past year and a half, and we wanted to just say, screw it. Let's take the work from home that we do anyway every single day and move it to living on the road. And it's weird because I don't know where the idea came to me. I didn't really know anyone who had an RV at all. And I wasn't following anybody who did RVs either. I have no idea how the idea came to me. I think I downloaded the app. It was called like Outdoorsy. I downloaded the app Outdoorsy, and I saw that people rent out RVs, and I think that's how I started thinking like, yo, screw it, let's go live on an RV. Because I wasn't really thinking, I don't know anyone else who did it personally. How did you go about renovating the RV? What was the process for that? So that was actually one of the criterias when we were looking at RVs. We We went through a bunch of
Let
them.
me tell them, man. Because this was the biggest strain in the process. Because I'm like, team, let's just
Brand
get
new.
one. Not even got to be brand new. Let's get one that's modern and up to date. Because I think in 2020 is when they started making the lighter cabinets like to look more residential.
Yeah, the older
And
ones were hideous.
they were hideous. Yeah. So I'm like, look, just get a 2020. We don't have to do many renovations to it. It's already good to go. So we can actually just, get on the road and enjoy it. And she was like, let's get this dump in the middle of nowhere that we got to spend all of our time.
Don't curse, because then I have to go back and edit you cursing.
Let's get this big dump in the middle of nowhere that I'm going to have to go and spend all of our time. Like, I'm not even a handyman, but I feel like if we would have got that, like, I would have had to just become a handyman because she would have wanted, like, new cabinets. Like,
well, not even
soft close cabinets.
So for the 2020 models, they still look really outdated too. So I don't know. Like, I was like,
Not that Rambler.
he's stuck on this one.
I'm over it now. I'm over it now. I'm past it now. I think we made a great decision to buy an older one that somebody else had already rehabbed and renovated.
So that's what we did. We got an older one that somebody else had already rehabbed.
Let it ride.
Yeah, just let the wind ride. We bought an older one that the previous owner had already renovated, which is great because for the newer models, I still wanted the white cabinets. I still wanted the little accent piece at the bottom of the kitchen. I still wanted the wood countertops. I still wanted all of that even on the new ones. So the fact that somebody had an older model already renovated, I was like, perfect. That's something we could buy cash so we didn't have any monthly payments. That was ideal. Thinking back, that was like
she was like
ideal.
Screw this. Like, I'm like, let's get this $90,000 RV. And then I started thinking about it, like, that's not a great idea because even though it's $90,000 and everything is perfectly fine, she's still going to want to rip it out.
Right. I'm still going to want to change stuff because you want to make it your home, and the RVs come really generic for me.
Tell them about the RV that had tile floors, like residential home tile floors. And she's like, yeah, I don't like the color.
Nah, I don't need it though. Shit.
Yeah. Like, what? I mean, it's like you want to be able to customize things like that, and I just felt like if we were going to be spending that much money on an RV, the RV had to come exactly how we wanted it, and there weren't any RVs that came exactly how we wanted it. Except for the Thors, but then we had heard like bad reviews on them.
Like the worst one.
But they might not be. We just don't know. We didn't know enough, and we were going based off of like what like the salespeople were telling us and like just some quick research,
But it worked out because one of the first things we heard from one of the first salespeople was that Winnebago was the GOAT, and we ended up getting a Winnebago.
We got a 2000 Winnebago.
For the 99 2000.
It's awesome. I love it.
So they actually, if you looked on the thing, they built the chassis, like the car part. They built it in 1999, and it's the year 2000. So I'm like, for the 992. That's our theme song, Big Blanco.
That's what we named him.
Big Blanco.
Big Blanco. I call him Blanquito. Okay. Anyway, so how did you decide what RV to buy? How expensive was the RV itself plus renovation? So we kind of already answered the first part of that question. The second part, how expensive was the RV itself plus renovations? We paid, was it 22,000?
It was listed for 24. We offered 22. He accepted 22. I'm thinking that if we wanted to do any more renovations, like it wouldn't be that expensive because everything else that we would want to do is like
it was already done.
Yeah, I mean it's just a matter of like getting wood, and I mean the most expensive part would be like doing it because I'm not really.
Jalen's like, we're gonna outsource all of that.
Yeah, I mean I can try, but I almost electrocuted myself like a month ago, so I don't really.
We're gonna go ahead and hire someone moving forward to do these kinds of things.
Yeah, so but even if we wanted to get this to our perfect standard, I don't think we would spend more than like another $8,000 maybe.
And that's how we saw it. Like we're like, should we get like the newer one that we were gonna get into was actually 2020. It was $85,000.
Yeah.
And we were gonna finance it, put a down payment and finance it. But as we were thinking about it, I was like, I don't feel comfortable with this decision because I'm still gonna want to change a bunch of stuff. Like I'm still gonna put the same amount of money as I would towards an old one. Like Jalen was like, the point that sold him. He was like, oh, what if there's engine problems? I was like, we could buy a whole new engine. and it still won't be the same price as these huge new ones. So might as well just stick with this one. So our next question is, where do you guys have your packages sent to? We're still struggling with this.
I got a package from Thread Beast at your mama house right now. It got there the day we left, and so now I gotta wait a whole week to get it.
But what we hear, and it's something we haven't looked into yet just because we're settling in, there are certain apps that they do this for RV folks. Like, it's like an application that somehow sends all your mail to a certain location. And for, like, depending on where you're going to be, so you obviously have to know where you're going to be at. And it just sends everything over there. So we're going to look into that.
You can ship stuff. Like, when you order a package, you can always put hold at the facility.
Yeah. So, like, for example, like Amazon packages, you can send it to a certain location.
They got the lockers.
Yeah, you could have them sent to, like, a post office at a particular city and wait there. Sounds like something's moving there.
Let's wrap this shit up, man.
Okay. So, how did you decide what size to get? I'm scared of gas on big RVs and small one space for living. So that's also something that I was thinking about. I was like, we should get a 25-foot RV. Answer this question. He's like, where that question at? I was thinking we should get a 25-foot RV because I felt like we could just pull that hoe into anywhere. We could, like, park it up at the club kind of thing. And Jalen, this one is 31 feet. Jalen said he just wasn't comfortable with it because he would hate the dogs. And
so, like, the ones with the 25 feet, almost always the bed is going to be a type of bed where you have to, like, just crawl onto. You can't walk up into your bed.
You can't walk around it.
Yeah. And the one particular 25 foot, the bed on one corner of it had like it was at an angle. It didn't go like this. It was just like straight across. And I already know that was going to be my side. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, hell nah, bro. I got to keep my feet on something. Can't have my feet just dying. I like my feet out the covers, not off the bed. So I was like,
talked me out of it, but I really initially wanted just like a 25-foot one. Typically, like, the dinette is on one side and the couch is on the other, and then right behind is the little kitchen and then the room. But Jalen ain't want that, so nah. But I'm much happier with the size. I think if we were to get another one, it would be this size too, or even maybe a little bigger.
yeah, I think that we could probably even get up to about 34, 35 feet. It's not difficult at all. Like, to be honest, like, I'm thinking like it's gonna be hard to bend corners and shit. And I've been whipping it.
Yeah, me too. I've been whipping this.
She drove one time, bro, and she looked like she was on the Simpsons TV show. She was like,
It's gonna slow down.
feel like you're going, baby, get off the white line.
It's better on the white line with nothing than on the.
These lanes is a lot wider than what you're thinking, though. You had enough? You had enough, baby?
Yeah, I'm over it.
Alright, come on, let's switch. Put that bitch in park, though.
There's a car behind us.
I don't care about them.
Alright, hurry up. Because it moves back and forth. I felt like
you
a
gotta
sail.
you 10 and 2 with that joint. You got a 12 o'clock.
Bro, I was like, oh yeah, I'm getting the hang of this. I look over at Jalen. He's like on a call for work, and he's like, oh my sweet Jesus.
They asking me questions on the car. I'm like, huh?
So he isn't letting me drive anymore. And you know what? That's fine. It's not like I'm passionate about driving the RV. He can have it. Who did you go through to buy the RV? It's gorgeous, and all the ones I've come across look so plain. We felt the same. So we used
RV Trader.
RVTrader.com. They have an app and everything. And people list RVs every couple of days. So don't rush it. Just keep refreshing things until you find one that you like. Like, as soon as I saw this one, I was like, Jalen, this is it. This is the one I want. Screw that other one.
Yeah, when you see on there, it'll show you like, oh, it got posted yesterday, and it'll show you how many people have liked this. And if a lot of people's liked it, then they're like, okay, boom, let me look at it. And you like it too? Like, let me check this one out.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people must think that this is a good one.
Unless it's been there for like a lot of days and has a bunch
That's
of
the
likes.
same thing with a house. When you look on Zillow and the house been there for 75 days or 300, I'm like, man,
Yeah,
somebody died in this motherfucker.
How to choose one. So You need to narrow down what it is that you actually want and what you're going to be using the RV for. So there are Class A's, Class B's, Class C's, and then trailers, and then there's the size. So there's a lot of different factors that go into.
Do you want me to break it down? Real
Yeah,
quick?
you can break it down.
So we started out with a travel trailer. Basically, what a travel trailer is probably the lightest thing that you can pull. So you just literally hitch it to the back of your SUV or your truck or whatever, and you just pull it along the way. Those are cool, but I feel like those particularly aren't the most structurally sound.
You have to have a very powerful car too. You have to look up the trailer, its weight, and what the car you have can
once you start getting into the travel trailers that are like big enough for your comfort, like this, then you gotta have like a pretty big truck. So it's like we had a BMW. We're like, man, that ain't gonna pull this. Actually, I don't even think it had a hitch. Yeah. So we're like, okay, cool. And then also when you're driving, nobody can be in a travel trailer. So what if the dogs, like they gotta be in there, like in the car with us. She can't take a nap. She can't take a work call when we're driving. So we're just like, nah. We quickly moved off of that.
Yeah, we saw like one trailer.
They're nice, but it's like, nah, fam. Because then we would have had to buy a car too. So it's like paying $30,000 for a travel trailer, which you can get some really nice ones for $30,000, like brand new. And then also buying a $50,000 truck.
Yeah.
It was just like that's pointless.
And then we had to commit to being truck owners.
Yeah.
And like we like trucks and all, but the truck would literally have just been to pull the RV of the trailer.
Exactly.
And we wanted like another car for going here and there. So it wasn't in the cards for us to have.
Yeah. And so then there's the Class C, which Class C basically, if you've seen like those, they look like a Ford truck almost in the front, and it has like the little wraparound on top of the trunk where like you would look at it and you're like, damn, like there's probably some compartment space in there. It like literally sits on top of the truck.
Yeah.
And those are cool.
I liked those. Jalen just didn't like the space and the seating. Like he was firm on that.
Yeah, so like basically because it actually is like a truck and the engine is in front of you, you have minimal space for your legs. So you in there like, yeah, you in there.
A lot of people don't feel that way.
No, fam, you was in there like cross-legged and stuff. No, this one right here, you can sit Indian style. You can lay down on the floor in front of that joint. The dogs can be right there. It's lit.
He really liked the space in the Class A, so he wanted to get a Class A, and he didn't want the 26 feet Class A's, the Winnebago ones that they had.
Yeah, no, I wasn't rocking with that.
He didn't like it because it looked too much like a Class B on the inside.
Don't even get me started with Class B's, bro. Class B's is basically
converted vans.
It's basically van life, right? So you see those Mercedes Sprinters, you know what I'm saying, when you gotta open up the back door to shower and shit, like, nah.
I was like, babe, let's be one with nature, because if you're in a Class B, you do a lot of things outside. You don't have space to do anything inside. You have your kitchen and your bed, and that's it. So outside, you like pull out a table, you work from the table or something. Jalen wasn't happy. He said there's no storage space where the dog could
right now, we wouldn't be happy with that shit.
I agree that a van life might have not been the best decision for us now.
If we were only content creators and we didn't have jobs, I would do van life.
Yeah.
Because it's not like, oh, babe, I have a call, like, and you can walk to the back and, like, you know, be silent. Like, in van life, you right there, I got a call. Okay, babe, you better answer that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, so.
That's true. We do have our sense of privacy for working from home because we have a bedroom. I can close the door and take a call there if we happen to have a call at the same time. Yeah. And he's all the way at the front. His office space is literally, like, right at the front,
So I feel like personally, while most people graduate from travel trailer, we forgot about the fifth wheel. The fifth wheel is gonna be our not our end goal. 40-foot something travel Class A is probably gonna be our end goal, but our next one, if we don't, keep this for years, we'd have to get a 1-ton truck or bigger, like a F350,
which is something we haven't came to terms with.
And those cost like $70,000-$80,000, like used.
And we still like the access of having a Class A, just like walking back using the bathroom. Because think about how many times we would stop if every time I had to pee, we would have to stop.
No, you just have to get a water bottle.
My goodness.
Or a Hawaiian Punch, dude. But the fifth wheeler is like the closest you can get to home, bro. Like, why?
Cursing. I'm gonna have to edit all the curse words out. Next one. So, how did you choose one? We had different things that we prioritized. We prioritized working from home because we both work remote. We wanted to have our space of privacy. We wanted to have, honestly, like that updated look, that modern look was really important for me. We wanted to
Have an actual bed.
have an actual bed that you could walk around,
Oh,
storage space.
Storage space for clothes.
We wanted, because we plan on living here, like actually living here for
At least the next 4 months.
yeah, minimum. And what else? I think that was like pretty much it. It's harder than you think, because most stuff are like dark cabinets and weird floors. We wanted everything to be in great condition.
Remember when you wanted that size and had like small ass fridge?
I didn't want the small fridge.
You was
didn't
cool
want
with
the small
it.
fridge,
You was
but
cool with it.
I was
baby.
willing to compromise. I was like, we don't need a freezer, because I didn't realize the fridge stays on the whole time you're driving.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, so what were your deal breakers for the process? Our deal
The
breaker,
financing portion of it, like we were,
and
like,
that came
nah.
at the end. Like, we realized that we didn't want to finance anything. I don't know if you guys know, but we rented out the rooms of our home, so our home is taken care of. Yeah, we didn't want to have to manage like doing our mortgage and also doing this financing this. So we were just like, let's find something that we can just pay for up front. That was one of the deal breakers towards the end. That, like, once we decided that was the deal breaker, it was so much easier finding something, because
We found we literally chose the first thing we found. Once we got.
because I had found a couple like these, but I wasn't passionate enough about it to push it and be like, this is the one I want.
Okay, so it came whenever it came for me whenever like that we made that decision about.
Yeah,
the
because this
financing.
was the first one that won him over. Like, he was like, you know what?
Let's go see it.
Yeah.
And then it was in West Palm, right by her sister's house. So I was like, okay, cool. We'll just pull up. We made it on time for your dad's birthday.
Yeah.
So it all like worked out. Like it was just so divine.
Mm-hmm. Next question. I'm trying to go through them because we tend to.
We gotta get like 2 more. So like just
Also, how do you manage security living in the van?
3 dogs.
Well, we have 3 dogs. We have our own protection, whatever your protection you might want it to be. We have ours that we feel comfortable with. We have, we go to, the places that we stay at are pretty secure because we check the reviews before we head there. So there's certain places that allow you to stay overnight. So you can't just park up your RV anywhere. Like, you can't just be like, perfect, let me drive this side of the road and take a nap. It has to be places that allow you to stay there. We use Boondockers Welcome for the first. We stayed at a state park the first time. Super safe, great reviews. Everyone there is just RV living. Then we stayed at
This lady crib in the boondocks, bro, in the middle of nowhere.
it's called Boondockers Welcome, which the app is discontinued now. It literally discontinued our last day there, but it doesn't. It's like people have space for RVs and they let you stay there. She had great reviews, so we went there. And then now we're staying at Harvest Host, and Harvest Host allows you to stay at farms,
Breweries, wineries,
just any.
slave plantations.
They're called plantations.
No, we know
No. What
it
are they
is.
called? Estates. I don't know. They call it something, but it's places with land that allows you to park up your RV. Some of them have like electricity hookups, which from that night at staying at Cracker Barrel, Jalen and I determined it's something he needs because he does not like the noisy life, at least not in South Florida. Here's would have been a better place because it's like a little.
Yeah, it would have been cool here.
But South Florida was just not it for my
weren't even
baby.
in South Florida, bro. It was in Orlando. It was in the
Orlando.
middle.
So I would just say to stay in safe places, read the reviews, and we're trying to get better with planning our trips instead of leaving it for like the day of. Are you cherry picking?
Yeah, we can't be out here all day. They asking questions that ain't got shit to do with no RV. They talking about UPS and
What?
how I got the bag upstairs.
That's somebody else. Oh, this one is from my best friend. What inspired you to make the decision to take life on the road? But we already answered that. Just
We
wanted to
didn't
say.
really answer it though, because we watched one. We read a review, and I tell this to everybody. And it was an older couple. It was a lady who was writing the
That's
review,
true. Yeah.
and she was like, "Yeah, my husband worked all of his life. Like he was like a mechanic or something, like just hard labor." And he was just like, "Okay, when I retire, like we'll get an RV and we'll just see the country," which most people do. It's a retirement thing to do. And he had retired, and He had finally like thought over it for a year or two. He kept putting it off, and then he put down his deposit for an RV. And 2 weeks after putting down his deposit, he was diagnosed with, I can't remember the form of cancer, but he was diagnosed with cancer. And then 6 weeks later, he passed away. And basically, when I read that, I was just like, look, tomorrow's not promised. Let's live today.
That sold him.
It's just because I mean, it's just like, you know,
it hits home for him, and it's just something that is real. People live there.
People don't experience like even like my dad. Like my dad never had a passport, and like right before he passed away, he had his birth certificate, social security card. He was trying to get a passport, and I'm like, damn, like I couldn't imagine not being here without seeing all that this world has to offer. At least trying, right? And not even having a passport. I can't say that he's been to more than like 3 states.
Yeah.
So now we can like, you know what I'm saying? We can see everything. We can move around if we want to. And, you know, if we're afforded the opportunity working from home, why not?
Yeah. And honestly, like the past year and a half of working from home, I don't feel like that's life. Like waking up, going to your work from home office and making dinner, going to the gym and going to sleep. Like I feel like there's more to life than just that, and we both felt the same way. Oh shoot, that is a crazy.
But he on top of me, bro. He on top of me.
Oh no, he's on top of.
He on top of me.
Okay, he stopped. I don't see his shadow. That's crazy when a bug has.
That wasn't a bug. That was a big ass wasp. He was what?
Oh,
that is
a dragon.
Bro, that's a goddamn Dracarys.
That is a flying shoe.